Shreveport's rather diverse in some ways, still very conservative in most ways. It's the third largest city in Louisiana. We do have our small pockets of liberal, artistic people, but by and large, we are in the big middle of the Bible Belt, so it's conservative, very conservative.
I was born and raised here, and it was a beautiful place to grow up, and it was thriving. Shreveport now, the political climate is terrible, but the people is what I like about living here.
What I love about working at an independent abortion clinic is we're part of the community, and I think that's something very special, especially in the Deep South.
Hope opened in 1980, and we provide abortion services. Our clientele comes from about a 3-state area. Our geographical area is about 200 miles.
Everybody that works there totally believes in what we do, and they're all concerned about the patients. And it just makes it a great place to work.
All right, we'll see you tomorrow morning at 10:30.
We have lost several clinics over the last few years through regulations. It was 7 in 2010, and now we're down to 3. I think for some clinic owners, the fight became too difficult to continue.
For low-income women, for women of color, accessing abortion can be really, really quite difficult. Not only the cost, but also having to travel to the nearest clinic in the state and to undergo all of the restrictions.
In the Deep South, we can't behave as if, systemic poverty isn't tied with race. It absolutely is, right? And so, because of lack of resources, there's a disproportionate amount of people of color affected. And so, yeah, it's tough. It's very difficult.
I think that it's really important to look at the bigger picture when you're talking about abortion access and what that means. People that are anti-choice effectively just want to limit women in power and minorities in power and perpetuate cycles of poverty, abuse, low wages. That's what's trying to be stamped out here. People's opportunity for upward mobility.
With all the clinic closures we've had through the years, I do feel a greater responsibility to the women because, we're getting to the point where they're not going to have an option. I'm sorry, but even if abortion is legal, if you can't access it, what is the point?
Working at Hope has absolutely had a massive positive impact on all of my relationships, right? Because part of the role of the counselor is, right, like listening. It makes me a better listener. It makes me understand people's stories better. It makes me more empathetic.
People that I sit across from on a daily basis inspire me. Their resilience inspires me. I know what it takes to get to a clinic in Louisiana when you come from a fundamental Christian household, when you have 5 children, when you've got an abusive husband. Like, what they're going through inspires me to continue showing up every day.
It's not only women that are affected by this, but it's entire communities that are affected by what we do and don't have access to. And abortion is healthcare, and we need access to it. Every day, I'm reminded of how important it is to do this work and to be proud of doing this work. I am not afraid. I am excited to be able to work in this movement. Everything requires sacrifice that's worth doing, right? And so I can't imagine work that's more worthwhile.
I'm really grateful that we have the support of national organizations like the Center for Reproductive Rights that are willing to get in here to take cases to court and to see them all the way through. Those partnerships are just absolutely crucial for us to be successful in fighting these fights.
Thank goodness we have an owner that's going to fight, and we have a great organization that keeps fighting with us, because if it wasn't for the center, we would not be open. I mean, that's all there is to it.
It's hard to be optimistic all the time, but I try to push myself to be. You can't function day to day thinking that this is the end of the line, it's almost all over. I can't do that because then I couldn't function. I have many years left to give to women, to the cause, and I want to be there for them, and I can't do that if I'm constantly worried about what's about to happen. I let the lawyers worry about that.